welcome to the SportsGrad podcast, your bite-sized guide to enter the sports industry. And joining me today, as always, is the goal machine, Reuben Williams. How are you, mate?
G'day, Ryan. I'm doing very well, thank you. I hope you're referring to my football career, because if you are, you haven't seen me play a game, clearly.
Well, I wasn't. I know you're not. No, I just thought you're good at your goals. You love to set goals. You love, whether they're micro or long term, whatever they might be. You're very good at it. So
thank you.
Highly relevant.
Oh, they're important. They're good. Something else that's important is, if you haven't listened to our chat last week with Will Taylor from the ICC T20 World Cup, the biggest show on earth, mind you, go back and have a look into that. We're big community guys. Will is building communities of fans in Australia in the lead up to the T20 World Cup. So if you want a lesson in social media, go back and have a listen to Will. It's absolutely fantastic.
I'm part of one of them at the moment. Very, very exciting to be involved. So tune into Will's episode to hear a bit more about that. Really good app. Alrighty, let's get going, mate. I'm Ryan Walker. He is Reuben Williams, and we are two mates who met at Cricket Australia. And now we help people find their own dream job through this very podcast and our online community. If you want to follow us, head over to LinkedIn, or even better, if you want to connect with us and hundreds of others working in sport, jump into the SportsGrad community.
Yes, and a quick shout out to our community members, and one member in particular, Ethan Wren, who has just landed a job with Social Sport as a venue manager. And he put out a post on LinkedIn during the week, which celebrating his new job, which is absolutely fantastic. He says, "I'm very excited to share that I'm starting a new position as venue manager at Social Sport. I also just want to take a second to thank the team at SportsGrad, whose job fairs hosted on their Discord put me in touch with Social Sport and led me to applying for the role," which is just lovely. Thank you for that, Ethan. The whole purpose of these job fairs we put on is so that good organisations can connect with great people. So we're very happy when that connection is made. So Well done, Ethan.
We love it.
Absolutely. So if you are like Ethan and you want to get your foot in the door of the sports industry, or if you like Social Sport and you just want to save time hiring, or you just like Ryan and I, who, you're early in your career, you just want to get out there, meet a lot of people, network in the industry, chat with like minds from Cricket Australia, Netball Australia, the AFL and the like, then jump into the SportsGrad community, because there really is something for everyone inside.
Absolutely. Good on you, Ethan. Absolute gun. Rubes, Deakin has obviously been an integral supporter of the podcast since day dot and continues to support us. Their open day, their virtual open day, is on Sunday, June 5, and it is an absolutely ripper event. You are presenting, which is highly exciting, but these events really allow you to get all the information from one epic interactive digital event, which you can access from home. And really where you can find information on courses, campuses, even study questions, you can get them answered on this virtual open day. So get involved. Over the past 2 years, we've had over 100,000 people attend those events. So really exciting event. Get involved. You can jump on the Deakin website to register.
That's going to be brilliant.
Awesome. Alrighty, today's episode, what are we going to talk about?
Ryan, today we are talking about the most important decision that you will make in your entire career. So this is particularly important. I know.
That's a heavy question.
And you won't just make it once. You'll make it time and time again, because it's going to keep adjusting the answer to this question. Yeah. Because we've chatted with over 100 professionals, all killing it in the sports industry, and they all have one thing in common that we've observed that's allowed them to get to a place where they are just living the dream in a job in sport that they absolutely love. And the best decision they all made is deciding what job or field of sport they wanted to aim for.
Yeah.
In other words, they set a goal for themselves. They set a goal for their career. They had a place in mind that they wanted to get to, and that allowed them to make strides to actually getting there.
Yeah.
And that decision makes every other decision after that a lot easier. Becomes easier to know what to do next if you've got a goal in mind. So the beauty of having a career and goal in mind is that things are just going to start to happen quicker. As I said, you'll figure out what to do quicker than if you're just waffling around trying to decide where to go. And the beauty of that is you're also going to avoid wasting a lot of time. You're going to make progress on your peers and get ahead of the field and be able to win jobs quicker if you are picking up your experience in a more linear fashion compared to other people who don't have a goal in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to go with that is don't leave it up to chance. If you want to work in a specific field or a role, you can take away all the chance there because it kind of gives you a path on how to get there. Everything is directed to that one goal. So don't leave it up to chance. Don't be like, I don't know where I want to work. Don't know. Might end up there, might end up here. Because then you're just wasting your time. Your path to get there is a lot longer.
That's it. And as you get older, you're going to have a lot more conviction with the decisions that you make. So take a bit of conviction to make a decision about where you want to get your career to for the next 5 to 10 years, whatever period of time you want to put on it, and start working towards that. There's a really interesting chart of a set of data that's been taken from all these marathon runners. And if you look at the chart of the times from these marathon runners, they all peak around the hour or half hour mark. If you look at the curve, it just like spikes up around the 3 hour mark, and then it kind of goes down as less people finish between 3 hours and 3 hours 30.
Yeah.
Then it spikes up around the 3 hours 30 mark. Then it kind of goes down, and then it spikes up again around the 4 hour mark. And what this says is that these people are setting a goal based on the hour and half hour marks. And you can actually see that a lot, like 80% of these people are finishing within touching distance of their goal because they've aimed for that. And so when we think of some of the people who we've chatted with, the names that come to mind are people like Jacob Tober. We had him back on the podcast a couple of episodes ago, 173. He knew he wanted to work in sports science. He knew he wanted to coach athletes. He knew he wanted to research and find out the best methods. He was absolutely obsessed by it, and he knew exactly what to do to get there, and was able to become ESSA Student of the Year. ESSA is a sports science body in Australia. Neil Shah is another favourite one of ours.
We love that story.
Yeah. When he was 15 years old, he made a declaration to himself that he was going to work for the MLS. When he was 19 or 20, he caught a plane to New York, rocked up on the front steps of the MLS and said, "Hey, I love football. I've dedicated my entire life to football. I love what it can create and the experiences it brings for other people and the happiness it creates. I'd love to work for you." And he got the job. He worked there for 6 or 7 years before he moved to India and became the CEO of a professional team over there. Yeah. And without that goal in mind, you don't make a trip to New York to rock up at the door of the MLS if you don't have a goal in mind that you want to be there.
No.
David Prowls is another one. He's the current CEO of Hockey Australia. We chatted with him a few weeks back. He used to work in investment banking, and he made a very conscious career decision that he was going to transition from investment banking into sport. And he gave himself a 10-year window to become a CEO, and he achieved it in 5. And he said to himself, if I don't get into sport after that window, or if I don't get to CEO status after 10 years, I'm going to go back to investment banking. It hasn't worked out for me. So he had some very clear parameters around his goal. But as David said, he got there in 5 years rather than 10. That's the beauty of having a goal. You can achieve a lot more in less time than you actually realize. So if you're still waffling around trying to decide what to do with your career, the most important decision you will make is what you're aiming for. So get out there, have some conviction, and decide where you want to take your career.
Love it, Rubes. Awesome, awesome stuff. Messages, have a goal.
That's it.
Love it. Alrighty, well, find us on LinkedIn, plus be sure to jump into the SportsGrad community. We'd love to chat with you on there. Head to our website at sportsgrad.com.au/community to join, or head to the link in our show notes. Also, if you are enjoying the show, please give it some love by rating the show 5 stars wherever you listen to your podcast. We would really appreciate it. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.